Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's of Let's Talk. This week of Let's Talk, in which we're talking about GTA this week, the next big franchise. We talk about first Call of Duty, then Battlefield. Now we have GTA, past, present, and future. Now for this, we're going to be talking about a lot, especially mainly with the current GTA 5, and which we would hope could be possibly added in before they do the next one, or at least put into the next one, whatever it may be called, because they're all up in the air with what it could be called, because there's like a lot of, between GTA 3 and GTA 4, you had Vice City, you had San Andreas, then you had all those other like little handheld ones sometimes, or those China Wars, I think there was one, and there was like, Liberty City stories and stuff like that, So whatever the next one might be, it's hard to say what it'll be called. Could be just GTA 6, could be anything. But who knows? And on this first topic, we're going to be talking about the single player aspects of these games. Now, GTA 3's story was okay. I mean, granted, with GTA 3, it brought in a new form for Grand Theft Auto in the really open 3D world, because it was just a flat overhead 2D screen, which it was kind of cool how they kind of had that in GTA 3, and I think maybe the other ones of like Vice City and San Andreas, but I think they might have had it in 4, might have not, because it was pretty much back in the same city kind of GTA 3, but it wasn't in GTA 5. I wish they could have had that in GTA 5. Was that like kind of top head overview classic aspects of Grand Theft Auto? Because later on, when it came to the Xbox One and PC and PS4, you had first person, which was cool, which we'll talk about later, and other kind of perspectives on what you could have the character. Because it's always been since GTA 3 just that like third person overhead view. But we're talking single player right now. We're talking the story of the game, which usually is always a great thing with Grand Theft Auto. Since the third one especially, I mean, they've always had a pretty good narrative with the game. But with GTA 5, in which the way they took the way the whole single player aspect went was interesting. I'm not sure though it was an improvement. Because the way it works, if you haven't played it or seen anything about Grand Theft Auto 5, is you start off with one character. You start off with Franklin, and as the game goes on, you are allowed to switch between other characters. There's 3 main characters. There's Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. But as of the 3 characters, it was an interesting concept to try and switch between them, because you kind of did that in the first actual moment you're in the game. Between the 2 characters that are kind of button heads for throughout most of the game. But as story goes, it just felt weird. It didn't feel as fluid as the other games at least kind of did, because you were switching between these 3 characters, and they tried to get all their stories put into this like whole just weaving between each other and stuff, and I'm not sure if it, for at least me, it didn't work well. It just seemed odd, especially when you went up to that final heist, and it felt kind of underwhelming. The story didn't feel too memorable as some of the other ones kind of did. But, still, it was an interesting concept, an interesting experience, and the overall aspects of the single player itself felt pretty okay. It had that whole setup where it's like you had some businesses that would make you money. Like, that's the whole concept of this, was having money, so you can actually, especially with the multiplayer, you want more and more money, which we'll talk about next. But all in all, it was an okay concept. I hope they do something bigger and broader next time. But I think just the whole story itself just didn't feel cohesive to me. Thought they possibly could have done a better job. But as I said, we were talking about the single player, and we're going to move on to the multiplayer and talk about it in a good portion, which I had an idea after, at least before and after the multiplayer became available, because if you again hadn't played the multiplayer when it was first, put online back when it was only 360 and PS3, is that there were a ton of fucking issues. And I thought I had was, why didn't they at least have some form of a beta, or just, be it open or closed or whatever, just a form of beta to see, because you can't always see the issues before your game comes out without sometimes running a beta, because there's a lot of things that probably could go override or over just wrong and you didn't see it happening, because there's a lot of times where people's characters just wouldn't they couldn't use them again because they somehow got deleted or some shit, or because there's this whole aspects of before you could actually be in the multiplayer, you had to do these certain objective type things, and then later on they removed that, especially with the new console aspects, but it just felt odd. They should have had some form of a beta, I felt, to kind of foresee a lot of possible the issues. Again, that is a possibility. And again, they probably should have had that month at least in advance. They should have had at least, especially with the next one, have a stress test beta. That's what most betas are about. They're trying to see, when they have it open, how many people can do what they can. And my voice is seriously changed like a motherfucker. Damn. Excuse me. But they should have an open beta to just see what might happen if there's any bugs that they couldn't see, or if their servers just can't take the stress or whatever. That was a little foreshadowing on their part with the whole multiplayer, and is the main reason why they had it delayed for at least 2 weeks before you could be on there, was so people could actually play the story, so that they could experience the story. But then I think they could have had a beta. But from a lot of the way that, I'm not sure if because of the issue, how big it was with the beta, or if there was their plan so far, which was, I would give them props that ever was. But it's hard to tell one or the other, is that all their DLC pretty much has been free. Now granted, their main DLC, which was held off for over a year, it felt like, at least, till at least the newer console version came out, was the heist. Now the heist was okay, but it kind of feels a little lackluster to me, because you only have the heists that there are out since they've been out. There hasn't been a new heist yet, which I feel kind of underwhelmed about, since they're pretty much putting up this huge aspects of what heists are going to be. They're going to be amazing, they're going to be great, and they kept changing up the aspects of the heist until they actually released them. And they haven't released a new heist since, and I just feel like that's kind of lackluster to me. It's like you have these huge aspects of the heist, and the only heists we can do are the same ones that's been out for about a year now itself. And it just feels like, well, come on. Come out with some new heists, or at least one. Come on. Do something. The only actual, like I said, aspects of DLC that isn't free, because the majority of them are, is just those shark cards. You pay a certain amount to get a certain amount of... You pay a certain amount of real money to get a certain amount of fake money. And, and again, I think if that was possible in the long run, in which they had a plan for, was, all the DLC, all the shit they're going to come out with, all the guns, the cars, the new buildings, which I hope they come out, which is something else we're going to talk about, but everything was pretty much free. The only thing that you had to pay for, like I said, is the shark cards, which was, I think it's a pretty cool thing, because the last game they had, GTA 4, there was only 2 DLC, and granted that was the only single player aspects, because there wasn't much going on in the multiplayer aspects of games. But yeah, there only was 2 DLC for the last one, which was Battle of the Gay Tony, which was the better of the two, and before that was The Lost and the Damned. But one more on the whole aspects of which I would hope they could either improve on the current GTA with multiplayer, or at least do something different aspects-wise in the next game of multiplayer, versus that whole phone thing. The whole concept around it with the invites and all the calling people, apparently, was a good concept on paper, and which I don't think was really executed well now, because the way in which I'm going to talk about, which I think developers kinda, I'm not saying they should, I'm just saying kinda, need to think about in the future of their games is how well this will look in the aspects of YouTube, you know, especially the bigger version, I would say, bigger YouTubers, aspects wise at least, you know, like how well is this going to work out for them? Because, you know, because there's a lot of times where, you know, that you have all these like in-fight pop-ups. That was a huge thing that, like, thing I had an issue with indicators via Battlefield, which I think this was their indicator aspect version, which was annoying and stupid. Is how they just kept having like this thing on the side pop up. You know, you've been invited this or whatever, and not to mention the phone will pop up if you get a call. And if you're doing something like riding a bike and you have to rapidly hit A to do faster, which one of their modes that they added in later was called Hasta La Vista. You have these semis chasing down people on bikes, and you gotta rapidly hit A to go faster. You also smash down on A quickly to run fast. But the issue with the whole aspects of the phone thing is, if you get a call or you get this like pop-up invite sometimes, is you hit A, it's gonna take you to that invite or have that call, which is like, I think they possibly fixed it since these issues were kind of a bit of an issue, but I think just the overall concept, in which we'll talk a bit more about the phone here in a second, was good on paper, but not well executed in the beginning at least. And the other aspects of which I think the phone was a good idea, which kind of took away from some that they kind of had, which was this whole, you know, once you get out of a job and you're in this open world and you have your money, you need to head straight to an ATM, because otherwise somebody can steal it from you. You know, the whole aspects of that whole stealing money, which they advertised about, kind of fell short as well, because there's two ways to do it, which was kind of stupid. One, you can kill them, and in which they only drop like $50 to $100, or you can send out a mugger, but you have to get to a certain level to unlock the character Lamar, in which you'd call him to send a mugger to whoever. Now, the reason why I say this whole concept kind of fell short is because 9 out of 10 times with the whole phone thing is like you can go on there, you can go on the web, you go to the Maze Bank app thing and deposit your money that way. And that's why I think the whole thing aspect kind of fell short. Because 9 times out of 10, players are going to do that. The moment they spawn back into the world, they're going to immediately go there. Because sometimes it's like, actually, the moment you go on the internet, it's right there on the app aspects of a phone. You just click that, deposit the money, you're good. And which takes away from the whole aspects of mugging people from here and there. And which, like I said, 9 times out of 10 that wouldn't work on the whole aspects of mugging because of that thing. And the reason I say it's 9 out of 10 is because there's 1% that gets kind of split up into 50-50, in which 50% of the times is because somebody forgot to do that, or, you know, there's something came up while they just, you know, entered the world. And that's, like I said, a weird. Sometimes people just tend to forget. Well, you have the other part of that 1% of the 50 is people who usually forget a lot. Now, you have this guy here on the Achievement Hunter, Mr. Gavin, which gets mugged a lot and you see him lose all the money. Now, this is a whole 50-50. Like, could it be the aspects of him seriously always forgetting because of what they're doing, or because, you know, it's for show? They're YouTubers, it's hard to say. It's up there as well. But the whole concept of mugging and the whole, like, stealing people's money, I felt the way they executed it fell short. How all that thing was. Especially, like I said, with the whole aspects of going on that Maze app on the phone, online, and just depositing all your money there. That way you have none on your person, it's all in your bank. Now, we're going to move on to the next thing, which, again, good concept on paper. I just think, again, they should have thought aspects of YouTubers a bit, maybe, but the whole cops thing. In which, in the original, well, not the original, the last GTA, when you created a free mode, you could turn cops on and off. I wish they could do a bit more aspects to that in the next GTA if they can't update it to this GTA where you have more of a private, server in which, you could turn off cops, but you'd also, by doing that, it would automatically turn off earning money within that world. So not doing jobs, not that if you start up a job, that way you still earn money, but like, the way you mug somebody, or the way you kill somebody, or the way you hold up a convenience store, or kill just an NPC themselves, or whatever. You sell vehicles. That aspect of just earning money on just in that world was turned off. Which is some aspects we'll talk about why they probably didn't, and why they probably won't have modding allowable in the PC multiplayer. But we're back to the whole aspects of the cops and stuff, in which it was fun when you could turn off cops, so you weren't always regularly annoyed by them when you were doing shit. Which, like I said, I wish if somehow they could update the current GTA, or possibly put in the next GTA, where you can have a private server to do shit. You can turn cops on and off. You can turn destructibility of the vehicles on and off. Actually, turn killing people on and off, possibly. We'll see. Turn unlimited ammo possibly on and off, because that's the aspects of earning money. You have to use money to buy ammo, to buy cars, or buy back your car that was destroyed via the insurance, buy housing, all that stuff. We're talking a lot about it later, but it'd be nice if you could just somehow go into a private server, if not just kind of like an invite only server, and monitor a certain way you like. If you want cops on and off, or you want destructibility to your vehicles and whatnot, anything that would be popped on, it would automatically turn off the aspects of actually earning money. That's just a thought, a concept, an opinion in my mind, an idea of mine. And aspects, like I said, about the whole earning money and buying ammo and cars and houses. Again, the way they executed was a good concept, but I think, again, poorly executed, because there is a limitation to buying certain things, mainly the housings and the garages, which I thought was, again, a faux pas on their part, another mistake they probably made, because like I said about the shark cars, that's the only way that they actually really earn money. And if you look at the aspects of how much they've earned in the past year, they earned about, I think it was 40 million, possibly more, I don't know, but it was they earned a lot of money, especially from the shark cars. And I think they possibly would have earned a lot more if they didn't have that limitation of buying housing and the garages, because people in this game, with the way they have it, without the customizations, all the cars, a variety, all the different houses, they want more. They want more housing, so they can have more places to go, more cars to have in their garages, so that they would have more garages to put more cars in and stuff like that. Granted, there was the whole concept, again, up and down with that whole aspects of having more housing, which would, once you spawn in, you're always probably close to a place you can go to, so you didn't get mugged or killed. Or, because they have that whole concept where it's if you steal a car, I'm sure who, I forgot the character's name. Of course, the picture name would be there, but, you get in a certain car and he wants it, and he wants it in a good condition, and the moment you get into it, cops want to take you down, so you have to drive it to a mod shop to change up the paint, and the better condition it is, the more money you'd get. But again, like I said, if you could turn shit off like cops and whatnot, again, the whole earning money aspects would be changed. It would be turned off as well. But again, I felt, in my opinion, my thoughts, that the whole them restricting a person on how many houses and garages they can have was a little short-sighted to me. It felt like they should have had it where you could get any and all of the houses and the garages. And granted, originally it was 3 you could only have, But like a couple of months ago, I'm not sure when, I think they upped it to 5. But still, I think they should have it to where you can have as many as you want. And going from the aspects where we're talking about earning money, spending in, going to whole customization in cars and stuff, which we're talking about the whole unlocking thing, which some of it was a good concept, good idea, and which I think still maybe a little poorly executed, just a tiny about stuff of like the way you unlock some cars. Customizations aspects is like you have to use that vehicle in a race, and you have to win it a certain amount of. You have to win, the races, or you have to get up like that initial boost, and it felt like maybe the race aspect was okay, but the whole boosting was just poor concept of how you have to get that boost a certain amount of times, because not every time you would ever get it, but again, it's that whole, replayability that they want you to replay this over and over so you can get it. Again, like I said, it just, in my opinion, it was just a little bad about it, especially like with the weapons. To unlock certain camos, you have to use those weapons, and the whole killing aspects of deathmatch and free-for-all and whatnot. But as we were talking earlier about the first-person view, in which I would like to see some bit different perspectives, because they had that whole perspective, at least, where it was like you had like the over shoulder view at different lengths. You had like really close, medium, long, with both the person and the vehicle, and then you had the first person there. But again, I would like to have that overhead view, which would be cool. Just to fuck around on sometimes with either single player or multiplayer. But going to the aspects back of first person, it was their first iteration of a game to ever have first person in Grand Theft Auto, in which it was an okay. I mean, they've had first person, but not in the actual realistic aspects, almost of first person. Because with the vehicles, they had first person, but it would be always at the front of the vehicle, not inside the vehicle. It was always at like that front aspect, so you didn't actually see you holding the steering wheel, looking at the gauges, which is why people wanted this kind of view, aspects wise, or at least some form of it, to where they see how fast vehicles are actually going, because they always want some form of comparison to which one has better speed, better 0 to 60 quickness, like, as well as top speed itself and stuff, which they've wanted to gauge pretty much in the end. But the first person allowed this, which was okay. It was an interesting concept, but still, especially with the whole person aspects, not the vehicle, the first person didn't feel as smooth as it could have been. And like I said, this is the first time they ever did it in this game, which I hope that they do make it feel better, feel smoother in the next game. But again, like I said, I would love to have that top head overview back in the next game, if not added at least into this game. It'd be nice. Now, going to some other aspects which I would like if they could add via, like I said, that whole server being private and everything, was some form of modification. Because the way you can do some modifications here and there is like you can customize different game types, different races, deathmatch, or whatever form, sometimes here and there, of what they had. Granted, it was just those races, deathmatch, and as well as like last team standing. But it'd be cool to have as much customization to mess around with in game mode, especially, as they do. Because it'd be, like I said, turn destructibility on and off, or maybe higher destructibility. And one thing that would be cool if they could add in this game, if not the next game, that people always are talking about with this GTA 5 is choosing when to respawn. Because the way it works right now with GTA 5 is like after a few seconds of you dying, you automatically spawn in, and people are upset about this because the whole ragdoll effect in this game is sometimes really hysterical, and it doesn't really usually take great effect until after you die. It'd be cool, if we had a choice, if we choose to flip on like either a certain amount of time to spawn after we die, or just to have it on. I'm not on, but off completely, and choose when to spawn back in ourselves. Like I said, it'd be the whole aspects of doing it in a private server realm, and it, turn off aspects of, earning money again. Like I said, just if you flip any of those things on that you want, cops, destructibility, ammo, all that shit, it didn't automatically turn earning money off until you go into, say, a job, and then you turn all those off. Especially when you get back in the world, if you like actually earn money via a job, it's like that server's gone. You're gonna go into an actual open world. Just my thoughts, my ideas, my opinions. But it'd be nice if they could allow this to happen to it, because some of the ragdoll effects are just hysterical, especially like they had Mount Chiliad. If you're running, you jump, there's a high probability your ass is gonna die. Now, again, it'd be cool if you could turn dying on and off, so you could just see a guy rolling around Mount Chiliad, far, and the way they kind of have it now is they've updated it. It seemed it was odd, but if you hit the water now at a certain height, your ass is gonna die. It's more realistic, but granted, it was kind of fun just diving off from a huge high point down to the water and living. But now the fact that you actually die during this shit, it's kind of annoying. Like I said, it'd be cool to turn shit on and off in our server. And another aspect, like I was saying earlier, we were talking about was mods. It's you see this video here. Now this is a kind of cool video, which the guy modded a container to be on the one end of a semi-truck, and he's having cars fly off. The only reason why you see these points of view, as I said before, is you can only mod in single player, because the whole way aspects I said before about earning money with multiplayer. There's always these huge different forms of trying to earn money, and if you could possibly mod online, they saw this is most likely it's your ass is gonna cheat the system and give yourself tons and tons of money. And that's why I think originally my thoughts on the whole aspect of people wondering why you can't mod in GTA 5 is because they're trying to ensure prevention of breaking the whole money earning system that is in play. And I think the way they have it set up with the whole modding thing on single player is that you don't earn money with all these certain modifications, because there's God mode and all this shit. You've seen all these mod videos on YouTube. But again, like I said about the whole aspects of the private server thing, it'd be cool if you can do some aspects as well, not just on PC, but as in GTA in general, do some form of modification, because that whole video was cool. It had shit flying, and it would have been much cooler to see it from different angles, somebody in a helicopter flying around seeing that shit, or just there actually being a vehicle that's like that, that's kind of, you just floor it and vehicles just keep ramping right off of you. That'd be a cool thing to see. I mean, it would add more of a whole tricks to do and shit, because you always see these videos of people doing this insane shit in GTA. Adding more variety of aspects to shit to do like that would be cool. And that's why I think they need to have some form of inner modifying of shit on a free roam world, and just in a world of like I said, in the servers, that would turn money off immediately. You can't earn money, but you can just fuck around and have fun in a way you like. Again, here's my opinion. That's just what they are. And one thing that was cool in the aspects of GTA that was in GTA 3. No, I'm sorry, not GTA 3, GTA 4, because it was the first real actual multiplayer that they had for the games, was the swing set glitch. Now, it'd be cool if because once I started playing GTA 5, was actually looking around both on single player as well as multiplayer for all the swing sets, see if there's actual kind of swing set glitch. But there wasn't. There kind of was, but there kind of wasn't, because there was this whole thing where there's this door, if you hit your vehicle just right as it was opening, then closed, you'd launch your vehicle, but who knows what happened with that. And there was this little I'm not sure what the call is, like that little plank that goes up that's like kind of a gate of some sort, I don't know, but like if you took your little actual bike, not a moped or any of that shit, or an actual BMX kind of bike, and you hit it just right, you'd fly as well. But it'd be cool to have a swing set glitch back in the next game if they can't somehow modify the current GTA to have it. Because that was kind of fun, having your, just being in a vehicle and getting launched. And aspects of which something else they could change if I just had remember it is like when I had GTA 4 and with some friends we'd load up on like a bus and launch that way. Is again something that I think they had a oversight in which was there's a limitation to how many people could be on the bus, I believe. Not sure if it's been changed since, but it'd be cool just, to actually load up the bus completely as full as you can and then, head off to a swing set glitch and just fly off and like maybe like if as you can like, a huge ass launch, people just get going off the bus and just flying out and just fucking around and like if again the aspects of which I thought would be cool is like instead of because parachutes are cool in this game from time to time, but it'd be cool also just to turn that off so that way when you're falling out you have no control again. It'd be cool just to fuck around. There's so many variety of different ways. Just a lot of thoughts and ideas that I would hope to see if possible, if not in this game, that they could somehow do possibly the next game. Because right now the only I thought of another game that they're going to come out with is via the rumors and leaks and whatnot is that Red Dead Redemption 2. But after that, there'd be probably another Grand Theft Auto game in which I'd hope a lot of these ideas and thoughts of mine could be possibly implemented into that game. And here on another aspects of GTA which would be possibly approved upon or some possibly changed about, which is the aerial vehicles in Grand Theft Auto. Not just aerial vehicles, just a variety of different vehicles, because there's like some vehicles that would be cool to have to get at some points and sometimes you just can't. You have to try and find and steal them, like the semi-trucks. Semi-trucks are cool, especially the different variety of flatbeds that they could have, like the one that holds multiple cars in real life that you'd have like that ramp on the back that you could try and ramp off of, or just a straight flatbed you try to jump a vehicle onto and stuff. There's just like a variety of different vehicles that just seem that it would be cool to obtain at some point, as well as, use, but would be a lot easier to have if we had a choice to kind of have them, because it's just felt annoying that there's like some vehicles that you just couldn't buy and own, while there are others that you could. Like there's like variety of stuff that you'd get via Pegasus. Like you could get a tank, you could get a helicopter, you could get that hydroplane, you could get a huge dump truck, but you couldn't get a semi truck. You can't get just some vehicles here and there. Just that would be nice to have just to get at some point because you need to use them again. Like I said about developers, sometimes need to start thinking about aspects in which would be better to improve their game for not just gamers but YouTubers who do game in their games a lot, like in GTA or Minecraft or something. It'd be nice to have the choice, though, just in general, just anybody would probably like this choice, just to get any vehicle they want, like have that you can't even fly, like that big huge 747 or whatever it's called in the airport on multiplayer. It'd be nice to, just like load up everybody in the server into that plane and just fly around and fuck around and stuff, dude. It'd be cool. Not to mention challenging, being, it's a bigger, huger plane to, try and fly itself, because it'd be harder to fly. Now, to mention the whole Titan thing, that Titan plane was kind of cool, but it would have been cooler if you had like a secondary aspects to it that had like a gun that shot different varieties of type of weaponry, like huge caliber bullets or explosive stuff, or a missile launcher or some shit. They'd be cool, Why didn't they add that to like that? Because like you see that form of plane. I remember last seeing it was on the first. Was it the first or the second? I think it was the second Transformers movie where they had that plane that was just shooting down. But it'd be cool to actually have one person flying around while there's like somebody on the bottom of the plane turret-wise shooting at the shit. That would have been cool. I thought they could currently or possibly next iteration of a game, when the next game, not next iteration, whatever, next game they could improve upon with that plane, that, or just in general, you know, just have, you know, more varieties of stuff to have, you know. Just thoughts, you know, but again, it would be nice to have the choice to have whatever vehicle we want at any time we want. It's stupid sometimes you have to chase like a semi down or some shit. Not to mention, I mean, the concept that they kind of had of some vehicles, like some vehicles you could steal and improve upon, whereas like the more exotic vehicles, the more, you know, higher roller type vehicles, you couldn't just steal and have. They had like a low jack on them, so you'd actually couldn't, you know, get them for your own or sell them. You'd have to actually buy it in, you know, the online store. Which is, I think, a good concept with the way they have the whole money thing work. But again, the fact that they restrict some things to the game was just like another faux pas, I feel, on their part. Another just idea that was possibly a good concept on paper, but just didn't really, you know, work out the way in which some people wanted, you know, because it'd be cool to, you know, just to like call up Pegasus like, hey, I like a semi with this type of back on it, or some shit, or just the semi itself with no back, or some shit, you know. Or, you know, not to mention the whole aspects of some of the stuff with the planes, you know, like if there's like 3 people who want the same plane and they're all next to the airport, one probably could only get it the way it works now, I think, or at least did for a while. It's like, yeah, you roll up to the airport and you want to get your plane, but, you know, it's like, oh, we had to relocate it, so you have to call Pegasus back the fuck up again to get the plane. Stupid. I mean, if you're redirecting everybody to that big ass airport, there's plenty of hangars to put plenty of different planes. I'm pretty damn sure. Not to mention the runway itself. You have the runway. You have like 4 different, not even 4, like 8 different sections to put planes on. You know, just there alone. I mean, come on. What the hell were you thinking, Rockstar? But yeah, I think that there's some improvements they could make upon the way in which they have some of that stuff. That is probably going to do it for this video and this Let's Talk, and I would like your opinions and thoughts and ideas, as well as in the comment section below, that they could also improve or change or remove either somehow via this game or implement into the next. And thank you for watching. Hope you were informed as well as entertained in this video, and I hope you have a rock'em sock'em day. Peace.